What's up, guys? This is Todd with Real Dudes Review, and today I want to give you a review on the new Nvidia Shield that I just got. Now, I don't want to talk a lot about the Android TV features. Android TV is getting bigger and bigger every day. It's an awesome platform as a media hub for your TV. But focus of this review is that I want to cover is the gaming, and the reason I bought this, the GeForce PC games right here. I want to be able to sit on my cozy couch in my living room with my surround sound, my big screen TV, and play video games that look just as good as sitting in my den in front of my PC. As you can see here, it has Steam Link built into it. You can access big picture, access your entire Steam library. Everything is there. We're going to back out of this because I want to show you guys Witcher 3. I did not get Witcher 3 through Steam. I got it through Good Old Games Galaxy. Good Old Games is awesome. DRM free. Check them out if you haven't. It's worth it. But when I get into the Witcher 3 here, the first thing that I want to show you is the graphics options I've chosen for my PC. I am running an Nvidia GTX 970. And when I first got this game, every setting in here was cranked as high as it would go. Hairworks is on, every setting set to ultra, and the game played well. Don't get me wrong, I was averaging high 30s, mid 40s frames per second, no problem. But I thought I could do a little better, so by tweaking a couple settings here, turning Hairworks off, which is a huge resource hog, I'm averaging 60, 70 frames per second, no problem. It stays above 60 and in the 70s all the time. But back to this review, let's take a look and see how good Witcher actually looks streaming from my PC to the Nvidia Shield in my living room. So starting up here, the game runs really smooth. There's no input lag on the controls. It responds just as well as if I was sitting in front of my PC. So we'll go ahead and switch it over to daytime right now, so we can see some of the more details, some of the colors, and it just looks great. I've already put a couple hours into this playing it through my Shield, and I am satisfied. It looks amazing. And I've seen other reviews of the Shield where the games just don't look this good when the guys are streaming them, and mine looks amazing, but I feel their pain. I seriously almost sent this unit back to Amazon after a couple hours of using it. And after experimenting with it and discovering some settings, checking a few things out, I got it to look absolutely amazing. By default, Nvidia wants to optimize your games as it sees fit. When I first launched this game, it was set to 720p, all settings on low. Colors were saturated. It looked like absolute shit. Even when I go into the options and try and manually change those settings up, it made zero difference. The game still looked and ran like shit. I mean, I was pissed. I was ready to box it up, send it back, and request my money. But I just knew that it could do better, so I found some hub settings. And we will go into that right now. Whoop, hold on, let me get back in there. So we're going to go into the hub settings here. My PCs, yes, my PC's name is Wolverine. All the PCs in my house are named after X-Men characters, so that's cool. But right here, game optimization, turn that shit off. Game optimization scales for regular wireless, what Nvidia thinks is good for wireless. So setting that to Ethernet, another good thing to do. But if you turn off those recommended settings that Nvidia will force upon you if you don't flip that setting, makes games look like shit. That takes me to another point. Try and play this over a wired connection unless you have top dollar kick-ass wireless. But back to the demo. These are games that you can natively install on the box itself that aren't streamed and not over Nvidia's grid network. You can actually download, install these, play them. They look great, but not latest and greatest games, but it's decent. I mean, this is a $200 box. You can't expect it to, natively play Xbox One and PS4 games at just as good quality. But let's check out Nvidia's grid network. Nvidia has promised that this service will deliver 1080p, 60 frames per second, high-quality PC games in the future. Right now, this service is free, and it's free for good reason. Once it's a subscription service, Nvidia promises those higher resolutions and frame rates as long as you've got 40 meg internet. I've got 100 meg internet, so I'm not worried. Now, I've played quite a few games on their grid network, and Some of the more basic games like the Street Fighters, Devil May Cry 4, they run flawlessly, no problem. But you get a game like this, which takes a little bit of extra power to render in Nvidia's cloud or their server farm, whatever they're using right now, you can see it. I just recently played this game to get past the opening part so I could get into the action for you guys. I had it set to 1080p, and I was just getting frame rate drops left and right. So as soon as I can get the option here, I'm going to set this down to close to 720p in hopes that it'll minimize some of those frame rate drops I've been getting. So let's get into the graphics here so I can change those settings. So again, bump this down close to 720p. You can see all the other settings by default, not that impressive. You can crank those up as high as you want, but the game will suffer right now. So we're just going to leave everything else at default. My biggest concern with playing these newer games was going to be input lag. And by input lag, I mean I go to hit the button to punch and it waits. There's a pause before Batman actually throws a swing. So I'm going to run down here and see if that is still the case with other games like Devil May Cry 4, Street Fighters. Those games run great, no input lag whatsoever. So let's start beating people up. Right now, it's pretty responsive. I hit the button, Batman swings. So not having any problems here. Now more people are showing up. And right there you can see frame rate drops, frame rate jumps, but at least the buttons are responsive. I'm not getting my ass kicked. So if I really felt the need and wanted to play this game, I could sit down and play it over Nvidia's grid network at these settings. So for a $200 box, it's not a bad deal. Again, I bought it primarily for streaming to PC. But for $200, it's definitely worth the value. The whole grid network being free for right now, at least, is worth it. And all the installable games, you know, those are there too for you. Now, I did buy the version with only 16 gigs of hard drive space, so if I start installing games, that'll fill up quick. To me, it wasn't worth it to pay the extra $100 for 500 more gigs. This unit does support expandable memory through SD cards and external hard drives. So for another $100, I could get 2 terabytes worth of hard drive space. That's at least the way I saw it. But other than that, guys, just a rough summary. As a streaming box, as long as you have kick-ass wireless or good Ethernet, it's amazing for streaming PC games. But you've got to have the PC and the card to back it up if you want it to look just as good as, you know, at least really good quality. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And like, comment, subscribe. Always happy to hear back from you guys. Again, thanks again. Talk to you later. Bye.